Mhm. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Insightful Astrology Podcast. I am your host, Maria Di Simone. I am super excited to bring you this episode. This episode has been a long time coming. It's on a topic that I consider myself an absolute amateur at, and yet over the last couple of years, I have grown to respect it and say, you know what? This deserves attention. And it turned out that one of my colleagues and students happens to be an expert at this topic. And she was about to study with the person, the astrologer who invented this theory. And then unfortunately, he did pass away. So I am talking about the degree theory by Serbian astrologer Nikola Stojanovic. I knew I was going to say this wrong, Anna. I'm
Yeah.
I'm going to let you say it better. But my guest today has been an astrologer for about 30 years. She is also an accountant. She is very varied in her knowledge. She studied with some pretty fascinating people. And I want to welcome my guest today, Ana Ayala, to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Maria, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you and an honor.
Oh, this is so cool. And I'm just actually really grateful that you agreed to do this podcast because I've never talked about this topic before. And I've talked about a lot of things on my videos and podcasts over the years, but this is a brand new topic that's coming out of my mouth, even though it's not a brand new topic in the world of astrology. So when I found out quite by accident that you are an expert at this degree theory, I was just all over it. So Anna, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and how they can get in touch with you for an astrological session?
Well, like you said, I'm an accountant, right? And I have done that for 30 something years as well. So you can reach me at amaastrology at AOL.com. I don't have a website. It's just an email. If you want a chart reading based on the degree theory for the natal chart. So
Okay. And after this episode, so many of you are going to be emailing Anna because she is fascinating and skillful with this degree theory. So let's talk about the degree theory. Can you please introduce the concept of the degree theory to our viewers and tell us a little bit about the astrologer who invented it? Because it is a pretty new invention in astrological theory.
right, so the astrologer we're talking about is Nikola Stojanovic, which unfortunately passed away in April of 2021. But I was blessed to have a chart reading with him. Okay. And I got one for my daughter as well, just to set the record straight, right? So I was amazed because, as you know, and I'll tell your viewers, I have studied with many different astrologers. I started with ancient Babylonian astrology. I went to Hellenistic and just regular Western astrology, but it was just some of my teachers they have a very complicated way of getting to information on your birth chart. And with Nicola's system, he developed it based on real life astrology. So according to him, he, of course, when you start studying astrology, you buy all these books, right? And you read everything that you can get your hands on to get more clarity and get more information and just, to expand your knowledge. And then he said he threw all of them away. And he did chart readings because he wanted accuracy. He wanted accuracy and he wanted to be specific. And so when I had my chart reading, I have in my natal chart, I have Jupiter in the third house in Gemini. So, one of the things he told me is, oh, you have a lot of books. I said, yeah, Jupiter in Gemini, right? In the third house. Yeah, that's an accurate reading. And he says, but it's on astrology, religion, photography, whatever. And I'm like, how's that? Because I have it at the 24th degree, the degree of Pisces. So true, all of my books are yoga, meditation, astrology, photography, whatever. So I'm like, oh my goodness, how did he know that, right? So to that level of being so specific, and I'm like, I've never heard of that, right? And I've had chart readings done by my other teachers and stuff, so I was like, okay, this guy is onto something. So I have Neptune in the 8th house.
Yeah.
So yeah. So one of the things with Neptune in the 8th house, in Scorpio, mind you, in
Okay.
Scorpio. Okay, so one of the things he told me, he's like, did you almost drown? Yes. Check. Did you have a miscarriage? Yes. And I was like, okay, I mean, how specific is that? And then the thing that blew me away was like, okay, you were able to have children, but then your husband left. Yes.
It's mind-blowing. That's what's so mind-blowing about this theory, is that Nikola and his students can get such specific, detailed, almost invasive information about anyone's life. If you have an accurate birth chart, meaning that birth time needs to be on point to the minute, because this is a degree theory. And as you know, as astrologers or astrology students, the degree of the ascendant will change every 4 minutes or so by one full degree. So that changes all of the houses, the house cusps, and so much of this theory is dependent on that. So you must have an accurate birth time. But the good news is that for people who are experts at this degree theory, like yourself, Anna, you can use this as a tool to rectify charts. And we're going to see later how I've actually done that with my own chart and how we've done that with Marilyn Monroe's chart. We're going to talk about Tina Turner, the late Tina Turner's birth chart, and demonstrate the degree theory. We're going to talk about Oprah Winfrey's chart. So we have a lot of charts to talk about. But before we even do that, Anna, I want to break down this degree theory in a little bit greater detail. And I'm going to share my screen. I do have the basic concepts that I would love for you to review with everybody about this theory. And we're going to take it from the top. So just give me a moment to get my screen straight. So hopefully you're seeing this, the degree theory. Okay, so you're seeing what we're supposed to see. So I'm going to explain what everybody is seeing here.
I'm sorry, you broke up. What did you say?
I'm going to let you explain what we're looking at here.
All right. So his concept, which, and I want to let you know, it's not only the degree theory, but things that he has identified that are ruled by the signs, right? So
Yes.
with Aries, if you have any house cusp or any planet with the 1, 13, and 25th degree, you have the energy of Aries in that house or in that planet. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if you have Venus in any sign at 1 degree, you take charge in making money. You might be the one to approach a love interest because Aries takes action, right?
And so this might be a good time to tell people, in the Serbian symbol theory, you round up, but it's not so for Nikola's theory. So can you clarify that so people know how to determine the degrees correctly?
Right. So if you have, like say your ascendant at 1 degree and 23 minutes, you're actually at 1 degree. You forget the minutes. Even if it's 1 degree at 59 minutes, you are still 1 degree.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that.
Sure thing. So then Taurus rules, with Aries, taking action, fighting spirit, not giving, all that. But it also, for example, he said that it rules construction, to build. Okay. Engineering is ruled by Aries. Something sharp, a knife, bullets, scissors. So If you have Mars in your fourth house, you need to be careful having accidents at home. Like, when you're cooking, you might cut yourself and stuff like that. So, and not only that with fire, because Aries rules fire as well. Um, it rules to be brave because, we Aries run to trouble, not away from trouble.
Yeah.
So, it's also something from German background.
Okay. So the degree theory even gives you parts of the world that somebody could be born in.
Right.
That, Anna, when we get to Tina Turner's chart, I know you already saw this, but holy shit. Oh my God. Her second husband, it's there. Oh my God. Okay, let's go to Taurus. I can't wait to get to the charts. Let's do this. Good, Taurus.
So Taurus is the degrees are 2, 14, and 26. And yes, it rules money, it rules banks, it rules an estate, a village, because Taurus is, the land, right? It rules, I'm sorry, the forest, to raise crops. So, oh, and one thing though, with Taurus at the second degree, that's a special degree, which we're going to discuss a little later. And also Taurus at 8 degrees is also a special degree. So
Okay, yes,
I
we're
don't
gonna get
want I don't want people freaking out when we talk about these special degrees because, somebody might overreact. You have to look at the natal chart in totality, not just that one thing.
correct. So we're going to tell it like it is. We're going to be very clear about Nikola's theory and we're not going to sugarcoat it, but it's a trigger warning. Don't freak out, just like with anything with astrology. Okay. You got to take it all into context. So we'll get to that, those special degrees. But let's talk about, is there anything else with Taurus, the part of the world, anything specific? Okay.
Taurus rules, well, if you're going to go to Hungary, it's ruled by Taurus. Any
Okay.
any country that is used for agriculture is, ruled by Taurus.
Fascinating. All right. Let's talk about Gemini.
All right, so Gemini, the degrees are 3, 15, and 27. And again, the degree number 15 is it's a special degree, and we'll talk about it. Yes, it rules communication and TV, cell phones, keys, but it also rules traffic. It rules streets. It rules stairs. We know that it rules short trips and such, but it rules balconies, it rules corridors. So you see what I'm saying? It's not just the degree theory, but he developed his own method of identifying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With Cancer, the degrees are 4, 16, and 28. Yes, home to nurture, yes, your mother, water, but it also means the human race, because the moon rules people, right?
Okay.
And it also Cancer, any degree at those degrees is your homeland. It rules all the liquids, water, tears, milk, beer, dairy products. And of course, your home and your family name. Leo, well, Leo is ruled by the 5th, the 17th, and the 29th degree. Again, the 5th and the 29th degree are special degrees, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. So, yes, you want all the attention. Yeah, Leo risings want to be the center of attention. We know that. But he also said it rules love affairs because anything at the degree of Leo, a mistress, lovers, it rules, your boyfriend, girlfriend. It also rules the highest quality of
Highest quality of anything.
anything. Like if you have, Venus at 5 degrees, you want the most beautiful, gorgeous woman, if you're a man, right? Right. And if you're a woman, well, you only want things that'll make you look fabulous, right?
That's so interesting. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but do you know the country for Gemini and Cancer? Is that something that is
Gemini is Italy.
Italy? Okay, I just wanted to mention that because I think that's interesting. And Cancer would be
Cancer is, well, the United States.
Cancer, the United States. Okay, and what country would Leo be?
Leo, I don't remember right off the top.
Okay.
But
All right. This is anybody who studies the theory, you could find out this information. But so going to the Leo degree really quick, when we look at our chart examples, hysterical with Oprah Winfrey's chart and Tina Turner's chart with the ascendant degree for both of them. The hair on both of those women. Okay. And I have to say this. So everybody knows, to the point of being nauseous by now, that both of my children are Leos. And I would always say, I'm surrounded by Leos. I have no Leo in my chart at all. I have nothing Leo. I don't know why, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, just today, Anna, I realized, oh crap, my Taurus sun is at the 17th degree in my first house. So, hello. I can't say I have no Leo anymore. I can never say that again. And I just realized that about an hour before we started filming. It's hysterical.
So, okay, so actually, France is Leo.
France is Leo. Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
France is Leo.
All right.
Virgo, yes, to diminish. Okay, the degrees are 6 and 18. Oh, and one thing that we forgot to mention is the 0 degree is the purest degree. Yeah. Oh, okay, it's lower.
I have it. I'm sorry. I have to scroll down. I think that's at the very end. I probably should have put that at the beginning. So you could see it, right?
Yeah, at the very bottom. Okay, yes, exactly. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I just, since I didn't see it up there, so.
I should have put it first.
No, that's okay. So Virgo is, yes, to diminish, to make smaller. Virgos are very neat, but it also means to work. It represents your colleagues at work. It also represents your health, illnesses, your customers. It also represents veterinary science, animals like your pets, and it also represents your stomach. Now, the 18th degree in Virgo is another one. Is a special degree that is not so great.
We're going to talk about that in detail. Yeah. So we'll put a pin in that, but we'll get to it.
Right. The Libra degree is
Virgo country. Do you know?
Virgo country, Switzerland and Brazil. Because Switzerland, everything has to be on time. Everything is super neat, super. I went to Switzerland, and you can eat off these people's street. It is unbelievable the hygiene that they have.
Wow.
Yeah. So so Libra is the 7th and the 19th degree. According to him, Libras are like very nice looking people, and very diplomatic, very, very soft and cuddly, like very eloquent, right? It also rules rings because Libra represents marriage, right? The wedding reception, anything having to do with a wedding, of course, and it represents sweets, candies, chocolates, to be a painter, to be a musician. It rules traffic circles.
Really? I hate traffic circles. They confuse the hell out of me.
Yeah. So, but again, very, very detailed, right?
Yeah. It's trying to make it, I guess, aesthetically pleasing, even though it just scrambles my brain. The music part of these 2 Libra degrees, fascinating. Again, when we get to Tina Turner's chart, her chart is just in my head. It's in every astrologer's head right now. But let's move on. The country for Libra.
So some of the countries, and mind you, he didn't do for all of the countries in the world. He didn't identify with a sign, but China is Libra. Denmark, Australia is Libra as well. So Scorpio, the 8th degree and the 20th degree. So yes, it's connected to death. And in the 8th chart, you can tell a lot about how people are gonna, the 8th house, you can tell a lot about how people are gonna die and stuff, but we won't get into that.
Oh yeah, and I will say, this is probably the first time I'm saying this publicly. I have told my family how I'm going to die. I've never told anybody else, but I've always known from my birth chart, and I cannot see this clearly for everybody. It's sometimes it stands out. I think you're probably better at this than I am because of this degree theory. But I have always said that I will die because of water in my lungs. I will die from drowning in some way. And that is quite literally because my Neptune is in the eighth house. It's in Sagittarius, it's not in Scorpio, but it's in the eighth house at the eighth degree, and it's next to the moon in my chart, and the moon rules my fourth house, which is the end of the matter. So I've always very clearly seen how I will die. Don't know if it's going to be in the next Titanic, in a bathtub, if it's just going to be pneumonia, water in my lungs, whatever, but it will be a drowning type of a thing. And you can see that, right, Anna?
But you can also die in your sleep.
Yes, well, that's the goal, right? That's the goal for everybody. Die in your sleep with water in your lungs somehow and just not feel a thing.
Okay, so Scorpio. It also rules, okay, so the eighth house he would call the house of live danger. He wouldn't call it, the house of death, but he would call the house of live danger. So anything that, again, I have Neptune in Scorpio in the eighth house.
Yeah.
So countries ruled by Scorpio is Mexico.
Ooh.
And the Muslim countries.
Okay.
So if you have Scorpio in the eighth house, I wouldn't recommend you going to any of those countries. But it also rules.
Wait, don't go to Mexico? I should never go to. Okay, I'm never going to Mexico now. That's it. Don't invite me, people. I love Mexican people. I love Mexican food, but I'm never going to Mexico. Otherwise, I might drown.
So of course, it rules death. It rules corpse. It rules a cemetery. It also rules surgeries, operations. So Neptune in the eighth house in Scorpio, you might have a reaction to the anesthesia.
Specifically, if it's Scorpio, you're saying, or just in general?
Because of
Neptune. Neptune, right.
Right. So it rules, the toilet. Of course, if you have like Mercury in Scorpio, you're going to be very foul language. So, and of course, it rules sex and rivers, and the eighth house rules pregnancy. So, according to him, right, the first pregnancy is the eighth house. The 10th house is the second pregnancy. The 12th house is the third pregnancy. That's how
he has such a different, he goes off on a tangent in different ways, which is why initially, I will be honest, and this is my Mercury and Taurus talking, the stubbornness, initially, I was like, this is bullshit. That's initially. And then my Sagittarius moon kicked in and said, Maria, don't be an ignorant dumbass. Study it before you reject it out of hand. Because that's what you want everybody to do about astrology, period. When they say astrology is bullshit, no, study it, and then you'll know it's not. So I had to study the degree theory to see that no, it's not bullshit. But that doesn't mean that as astrologers, we have to agree with every part of it, or that we're effective in using every part of it. So that's the distinction.
Correct. Okay, so Sagittarius is the 9th degree and the 21st degree. So, for example, and yes, it rules abundance, expansion, college, traveling, it rules all that, but so people can apply it. For example, if you have your 7th house in the 9th degree or the 21st degree, your marriage partner might be foreign. He might be a foreigner, or he might have a different religion than you. Okay. You see how things there, or he can be from Spain because Sagittarius rules Spain, so he can be Spanish. So
yeah.
Okay, so according to him, it rules highways. It rules main streets, anything foreign or a foreign origin. It rules tennis, playing tennis, modeling, cinema. Of course, we know that it rules religion and universities, but it also rules a border.
Borders in general.
Borders in general, correct.
Okay, and the country?
Sagittarius is Spain.
Sagittarius is Spain. Okay, I like this degree. My Mercury is at 21 in Taurus, though. Yeah, but I like it, and I have a school. So you see,
there you go.
I teach. Okay, Capricorn.
There you go. Capricorn is the 10th and 22nd degree. And the 22nd degree is again a special degree. So to take control, to public attention, coldness, yes, all that. So it also rules, um, you know, again, if you're trying to find a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you look at, or your marriage partner, the person can be older than you, or there could be a significant difference in age between you. Okay. Um, it it rules history, archaeology, things from the past, someone from the past. It rules, well, depression, ice, snow, because Capricorn, the goats go to the top of the mountain, right? Where you have those ice caps, right? Um, it also rules cancer, the illness of
Disease.
cancer. Yeah, the disease, poverty.
Mm.
And he said that Saturn rules old people, sick people, poor people, and there was a fourth one, which I can't remember right now. But he had, again, different, um, you know, he had his own method. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, he did. He was definitely an unusual man, and
Right.
fascinating astrologer. You could Google him, guys. Google YouTube videos of Nikola, and to spell his name, it is Stojanovic, Nikola Stojanovic.
Yes.
I did it. Yes. Okay. I feel so
Okay,
proud.
so
Country for Capricorn. Is it Russia?
um,
Is it like an icy cold place? Alaska? Is that
the Balkans, India, anything that's old,
oh, okay.
okay. The UK, because they're very strict and very proper, and
I can
very
see that. Stoic. Yeah.
stoic. Saudi Arabia,
Interesting.
yeah. So anything that like is very traditional, right? Because Capricorn is all about traditions and holding the old guard, right? So Aquarius, the degrees are 11 and 23. So yeah, this one, both of these are special degrees, kind of, because it rules divorce. It also rules suicide, unfortunately.
Suicide. And it is also the astrologer's degree.
Astrologer's degree, right?
Yeah.
So it also rules like to have a free relationship in the sense of like you're not legally married. You're with
Mhm.
someone, you're living together, but you don't sign the papers.
Yeah.
So
This is how I rectified my chart because of this exact degree. But let's the country, and then we'll move on. The country.
the country, I can't think of anything right now for
Yes.
Aquarius.
Probably outer space.
Um, yeah, I can't
Okay.
think of anything.
Pisces.
Okay, so Pisces is the 24th, I mean the 12th and the 24th degree. And since it's ruled by Neptune, it goes into, he had a very interesting thing about that because he said that it rules spies, anything secret, anything mysterious,
Wow.
anything that just would blow, missing persons are ruled by Pisces, mental illness, isolated institutions like hospitals, orphanages. It rules pharmacy, like drugs, both illegal and legal drugs. It rules the night, the fog, the dreams, petroleum photography. So, plus all the stuff that you have there, but I'm just saying it rules the sea as well. So,
Is it, does it rule the psychic and spiritual world, or does he just leave it as the unconscious and the psyche?
no, it also rules the spiritual world, anything with like religion.
Okay.
But it's Pisces, can give you either very spiritual people or very, the addicts and the other side of it, which is not spiritual. Let's put it that way. So you have the good and the not so great.
Makes perfect sense. The 23rd degree and the 12th degree was the key to my rectification. And I will demonstrate that later. So the country, do you know the country for Pisces?
Pisces, it's all the poor countries and countries surrounded by water, islands,
Did you say poor countries?
poor countries.
Very fascinating. So any poor, like a third world country, or even a country, but an area in the country that's very poor, or
Yes, but it can also rule countries that have artists because Pisces is artistic. So it also rules the Netherlands, Portugal. It rules Russia of all places.
oh, so Pisces is Russia. Okay, well, okay, I can kind of see that.
Colombia because of all the drugs.
I can see that. So that 0 degree, if you have a planet at 0 degrees, it is the purest form of that sign, whatever sign that is. 0 Capricorn, 0 Scorpio, right?
Right.
And so you can see, hopefully, now that we've gone through this whole degree theory, that it goes up to 12, up to Pisces, and then you go to that 15th degree, you're basically starting at Aries again, and so on and so forth. So this is where the degree theory comes from as far as the structure of it. So it kind of makes sense when you think of it like that. Now we're going to switch gears and get into some of those special degrees now. Anna, is there anything else you want to say about the general degree theory before we attack the special degrees?
No, I think
right. Thank you. You're doing a phenomenally thorough job of explaining this degree theory. And I know, oh, I have the wrong one up. Of course, I did the wrong one again. I have to put the special degree one. Okay, here we go. So now just let me make it to the beginning. Okay, Anna, I am going to give you the floor again. And let's talk about these special degrees that Nikola recognizes.
Right. So, and his work is based on many, many years of research, right? Where he put together a whole bunch of charts and analyzed them and, came up with his theory. So the second degree, which is a Taurus degree, and again, that doesn't mean that if you have one planet at 2 degrees, you are going to have the supreme power. You have to put it all in perspective. But just to give you an example, Queen Victoria from the British Empire had the sun in Gemini at 2 degrees. And the 10th house, which is the MC, right? The top of the chart, she had it at 2 degrees Aquarius, meaning to rule people, right? So, and in the 4th house, she had Leo at 2 degrees. So Leo, the ruler, the king or queen in this case. Yeah. And in the 4th house is, your natal country, right? Your home.
Yeah.
Other people that had the 2 degree is Henry Ford, right? He had Mercury at the 2nd degree. Mercury, transportation, cars, right? John F. Kennedy, 2 degrees Leo in the 10th house. Hitler, 2 degrees Leo in the 10th house. Bill Gates, 2 degrees Leo in Uranus, right? He has Uranus in the 2nd house in Leo at 2 degrees. And I will stop right there.
Fascinating. Yeah. Oh, we have enough examples. Wow. Oh my God. If my son watched my podcast, he would be thrilled to know that his Venus placement is at the 2nd degree. However, it's retrograde. Does Nikola consider retrogrades? Or is it okay? What does he say about retrograde?
Okay, so retrogrades, you have to look at the degree after. So if your son has the 2 degree, he has to look at the 3rd degree.
So he doesn't really have 2 degrees.
No.
We just stripped him of it. Damn it.
Well, he said that you would have to look at both degrees. But retrograde for him means to do it over again.
So he's here to do the supreme power lesson and the over.
Any planet that you have in retrograde means that it's something that will come back. or
I'm
that you
so glad I didn't know this about the degree theory. I'm so glad you're explaining this to us. So if you have your Mercury retrograde, guys, at the 13th degree, you got to look for the 14th degree and the 13th and blend the information.
yes.
Okay, wow, fascinating. All right,
Okay, so
fifth degree.
the fifth degree, he called it the erotic degree. And he associates this with people that are very, have sex appeal, very sexy, that are, just erotic, right? And we have examples like Marilyn Monroe, who has the ascendant at 5 degrees of Cancer, Marlene Dietrich, 5-degree Capricorn Sun, Mata Hari, 5-degree Taurus. And she was like super, she was a spy, espionage. I don't know if people know who these people are, but Greta Garbo, she had a 5-degree Gemini ascendant. Sophia Loren,
Ooh.
5-degree Capricorn ascendant. Sean Connery, 5-degree Capricorn. Farrah Fawcett, 5-degree Cancer rising. Mick Jagger, 5-degree Leo. So you see where I'm going with this? People that, I mean, listen, I might not find Mick Jagger attractive, but a lot of women do, and then he has this sexy thing or whatever. Sean Connery, I do. I find him very attractive. But
Yeah. It's even if you don't find the person attractive, there's just something about the way he wields his body that's very sexual and sexually aggressive. So I think that's the eroticism of it.
yes, exactly. The 8th degree, which you don't have here, the 8th degree in Taurus, in Taurus specifically, he talked about black magic.
Ooh.
But 8th degree Taurus, not 8th degree, because 8th degree is a Scorpio degree. But in Taurus, he called it black magic. And he was in the process of trying to figure out what other 8 degrees and like different signs were, if they had any black magic.
So only 8 degrees of Taurus or any sign?
Well, no, only Taurus.
Only Taurus. Okay.
All right. So the 11th degree is 11 and 23 are both divorce and suicide. And again, we want to caution people that, you have to look at the 8th house, you have to look at the chart ruler, you have to look at, different things. It's not that. However, he said that Uranus rules divorce. And in the solar return, when it comes up in your 7th house, there will be a change of status in your relationships. Let's just put it that way. If you're married, you're going to go through a divorce. If you're single, you're going to meet somebody. So it's a change of status.
I think that's now the 11th or the 23rd can be suicide, or is it only the 11th that's connected to suicide?
No, both.
Both. Okay, so that's wrong here on the notes. So now I've rectified my ascendant to be 23 degrees, which means my descendant is 23 degrees. And that doesn't mean I'm going to commit suicide, guys. That doesn't mean that my husband or ex-husband is going to commit suicide. However, other parts of what this special degree means will come into play. I've been divorced and I am an astrologer. And so that's what the 23rd degree is, the astrology degree. And that's just something else and is it the 11th too, or is it just, it's both of them, right? Okay.
Yes.
I should have written that. I didn't. So, I guarantee you, I'm not going to kill myself, not intentionally. But don't go off the deep end if you have something at these degrees. But objectively, be a mad scientist as an astrologer or astrology student and say, okay, well, what is it about this particular degree that resonates and is making sense in my life experience objectively already, historically, as well as my reality? I think that's the best way to approach these degrees.
Right. And also, he had his own exaltation rulers and stuff like that. So it's not the traditional rulers, right? He considered Mercury exalted in Aquarius. So if you have Mercury at the 11th or 23rd degree, number one, you're a good candidate for astrology, but number two, you're brilliant. You're a genius. So that also means that you could be tall, right? Because Aquarius is something from the heights. Okay.
Oh my gosh. I know somebody whose Mercury is at 23 degrees of Aquarius, and he is very tall. He's a doctor, and he's very smart and very tall.
Yeah. So it's not only the suicide and divorce degree. I just wanted to, clarify so people don't get all upset. Okay, so the 15th degree is car accidents and assassinations. That's something that's there. Assassinations that take place on the street because it's a Mercury degree. And
Wow.
if you have a 15th degree in Libra precisely, most of the time those are fatal accidents.
Interesting.
Okay, so assassinations, John F. Kennedy and John Lennon had that 15th degree, just so you know. But for example, Agatha Christie and Stephen King have Mercury at 15 degree Libra. So what do they write about? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Murder mysteries and all that kind of. But then you have Stalin, the ruler of Russia, in the 8th house, 15 degree Libra. And he killed how many people? Right? So he assassinated them. 18th degree is the degree, what he called it is a very malefic degree. It's also the degree of Virgo. So once again, not everybody's going to be, a bad person or something like that, but it also rules incurable diseases. If you have it at the ascendant, incurable diseases is just like very strange, very, like I did a chart for this gentleman that he had a 18 degree ascendant. And since he had served in the war, he back in, what is it? The one that took place in the 90s. Oh my God, Desert Storm.
Oh, okay.
Afghanistan and stuff like that. So he had inhaled the fumes of what they were. And so he has this really weird thing with his lungs and stuff like that. So, and it's extremely rare. Not too many people have it. I have another gentleman who has Parkinson's, who has an 18 degree.
Ascendant. This is the ascendant you're talking about specifically. So I
Ascendant.
have a question about these ascendant degrees in general. Does Nikola then look at the ruler of the ascendant and add more to his storyline? So if somebody, let's say, has 18 degrees on their ascendant, would he then look at the planetary ruler to add more to the story of the illness or the bad destiny? So that becomes part of it, right? Because he does get very different.
Because if you have 18 degrees, let's say Aries rising, then the illness would be in your blood.
Okay. So we talked right before the recording about this because we were trying to figure out how to sensitively handle talking about this 18th degree, because he really does emphasize how malefic it is in his theory. But there are many people who have a planet at 18 degrees or an angle at 18 degrees or a node, okay, something. And so Anna did say that she has seen this specifically with the ascendant degree with illnesses, mysterious illnesses, difficult illnesses. And I did validate that my daughter, in fact, does have 18 degrees Libra rising. And when she was 20 years old, she's young, she started to have significant health problems. And so she has significant autoimmune issues and all sorts of things going on that nobody could really figure out. And nobody can really treat effectively. Not even her integrative doctor has been fully successful. So it's kind of under control right now, but I see the validity of this. And this is my own child who I love. She's my favorite person in the world. I want no harm to come to her. But as a mad scientist astrologer, I have to say that 18th degree has already come to life for her.
You might want to look at the 6th house and see, because he also has sometimes, let me just clarify, sometimes you can put remedies in, but it depends on,
Oh, okay. All right. That's that. I
but
have to
you
look
know,
into it more.
but
Um,
for like the gentleman that I know that has Parkinson's, since he has it in Aquarius, um, is to put a ladder up in. But anyway, that we're getting off topic.
yeah. So, and for a planet at the 18th degree, I do have an example of somebody with the sun in Taurus in the second house of his chart at the 18th degree. And that man has had complete financial ruin multiple times. It's like he keeps doing it to himself. He will make a ton of money, a lot of money, and constantly lose it. And his sun is in Taurus at the 18th degree in the second house.
Wow.
Fascinating. Yeah, fascinating. It really is. So, all right.
Okay.
Anything else about the 18th degree before we move on?
I think we're good.
All right.
Um, all right. So the 22nd degree is a Capricorn degree, first of all, right? And he also associated to kill or be killed. Okay. I'm from Florida, and we had a condominium collapse, right?
Remember that.
At Surfside. Do you know what the degree of the moon was on that time, that day? It was
Oh,
22nd degree.
I just got chills everywhere. I wonder the chart of 9/11, the Twin Towers or the
You know,
Pentagon, if that degree is active. We
I
have to
have,
look.
yeah, I haven't looked at that, but like since it happened close, I live in Miami, right? So since it happened close to home, I'm like, oh my God, let me see what happened. Of
Ooh,
course,
I have
Uranus,
chills.
yeah, and the moon at 22nd degree. So that's, but it could also mean, that, for example, if you have Mars at 22nd degree, you could be a killer, right? It could, meaning like you could go to war, it's either kill or be killed, right? That type of situation. Examples of the 22nd degree, Hiroshito, the Japanese ruler who the atomic bomb was, you know, he had Virgo at 22nd degree, square Uranus and Pluto.
Oh my
Uranus,
God.
yeah.
I,
So,
I
and
have an example of this when you're finished explaining your
yeah,
example.
go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I just thought of this from one of my clients, actually. This is fascinating. He has Mars in Leo at 22 degrees, close to his midheaven, conjunct his midheaven. And do you know what he does for a living? He is a personal bodyguard for a billionaire.
There you go.
And he also is highly trained as a sniper. I mean, the man is, he could kill. He could kill. That's why he was hired.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh. So you don't have to be a crazy murderer if you got something at 22 degrees, but you've got that killer instinct.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So the 29th degree is the degree of clairvoyance, right? And especially, and he said that those people see things, right?
Yeah.
So, but I have found that it's usually like the moon with Neptune, some combination of like the intuition, the more of the psychic stuff. But he associated the 29th degree with clairvoyance.
Very, very interesting.
And
Wow.
there's one more special degree.
Yeah, I don't have it there. So that's why I stopped the screen. I didn't realize how in depth this got.
Okay, so the 12th degree of Capricorn was the degree that he associated. Now, not everybody that has, I'm a 12 degree Capricorn and I'm not uber rich. Okay, so I'm not
That's my
rich.
midheaven. I'm not rich either yet.
Exactly. So he associated, now this one was going to blow your mind.
Oh
Um,
shit.
the, the sunken ships, right, from the historic days, or whatever, that were crossing the seas or whatever that sank. These treasures have been found when Capricorn is at 12 degrees. 12th degree, meaning the sea, right? Pisces degree.
Buried treasure, literally.
Buried treasure in the sea because it's the 12th degree, right? Neptune, Pisces. Told you. So,
Oh, wow. That's
yeah.
fascinating. Okay. Oh, this is so cool. Well, hopefully you guys now have a thorough introduction and understanding to the degree theory. Anna, this was phenomenal. And we're already an hour in. So I think we're going to quickly go through these charts. Um, I'm going to start with Tina Turner because she's the one that just passed away. And I mean, the whole world is talking about this amazing woman. And I just think it's so beautiful to use her chart as an example for this degree theory because you can see it so clearly. So Anna, what stands out to you? I know I could talk about four different things, but is there anything that you want to say before I leap in?
Well, this degree, I mean, she's a Leo rising, okay, but with the 17th degree, she's a double Leo, basically. So you mentioned the hair, right?
Yeah.
And that Leo rules performer, right? Right. They're into the arts. They're just very talented people. So 95%, according to Nikola, okay, 95% of the Leo risings will end up getting divorced because their seventh house cusp is Aquarius.
Aquarius.
Okay. So, however, her part of fortune is very close to the seventh house cusp. So, when would she divorce her husband? You look to Uranus. Uranus is in the 10th house. And it's the house cusp is Taurus at 10 degrees, which is a Capricorn degree. So she would reach very high status, right? And so the divorce would happen when she reached the high status.
Oh,
I'm not that familiar with her life because I don't.
you're blowing my mind because you're doing what Nikola did. So you are weaving together these nuanced degrees and telling a detailed story about someone's life.
Right.
Accurate.
And look at the degree of Uranus. It's 19. It's the degree of Libra. So
And the seventh degree of the moon. That's what I was looking at. Music.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to say? The 19th
Oh,
and
no,
the 7th?
no, no.
Oh,
I was focusing on Uranus.
Okay.
Okay. So, and of course, with her first husband, Mars is there. They were having arguments, right? But they were having arguments at home, the fourth degree, right? The degree of Cancer, about Pisces stuff, which could be alcohol, drugs, could be depression as well, because Pisces gets depressed a lot. I don't know if her first husband had mental issues or not. I have no idea. But I'm just saying that that's and they could have had physical altercations because of that. Aries is not, it's fist. It's arguments, but it could turn abusive as well.
And that is all very accurate from her biography with her first marriage to Ike Turner. That was a infamous divorce and a part of her life experience with her first marriage.
Okay, but she was promised a second marriage, right? The ninth house. If you have planets, okay, so if you have planets in the ninth house, that means that you're eligible to have a second marriage. If you have planets in the 11th house, it's a third marriage, but that doesn't mean you have to get married 3 times. It just shows the potential, right?
Yeah.
So if you like your first husband, you stick with him. If you don't like him, then you got options, basically. So the second husband would be somebody with either older or a big age difference.
He was 16 years younger than her.
Oh, lucky girl.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Keep going. This is amazing. Amazing. And you don't know this. You don't even know this, but go ahead.
Okay, so the 8th house.
Oh, finish with the 9th house, please, because there's more about the husband that's going to blow your mind. Because you don't know Tina Turner's biography and life, but I looked it up very quickly before the podcast.
Oh, okay.
At Saturn in Aries and the cusp of the ninth house in Aries. What country did you say that Aries is associated with?
German.
He
Germany.
is German. She married a German man 16 years her junior, and they were married happily ever after for 27 years until the day she died.
Awesome. So you think,
And then they moved to Switzerland, I think, and she became a Swiss citizen, something like that. I'm saying it
yeah,
wrong, but
I know she renounced the U.S. citizenship.
yeah, yeah.
That I do know. But it's interesting because if you look at her eighth house, you would see that she would die in a foreign country. It's on the cusp, it's Pisces, right? And Jupiter is also foreign country. And there was something else. If you look at the fourth house is Scorpio, but the ruler is in the 12th house. So that would be a foreign country. She would end up living in a foreign country.
And she died at home, I think
And she died at
28
home. Yes.
28 degree.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
So you wanted to say something about the 11th house, but I just wanted to quickly mention in her 10th house, she has two planets that are both at the Libra degrees. And one of the things that Libra rules is music and also fashion and beauty. This woman was an icon with her style and her, the charm that she exuded. And everybody saw that in her career. So what were you going to say about the 11th house before we go to another chart?
No, just that the 11th house signifies third marriage, which you can see that it's empty. So, but that doesn't mean that if you have an empty house, you don't have a possibility of getting.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
if you have it, you're assured.
I don't know anything about her children, but she does have Venus at the 24th degree. And so again, we have this Pisces degree. I would have to look up to see if there are any issues with any of her children, but definitely we have the alcohol and the some difficulty there with love indicated. Okay. Anything else about Tina? May she rest in peace before we go to. Now, I may not have the correct rectified chart for Marilyn Monroe. So on Astro Databank, it is listed as 9:30 a.m. But you had sent me a chart and I didn't realize that it was different. And I quickly said, wait, we have to rectify this because her midheaven cannot be 6 degrees. It has to be 5 degrees. It just has to be. So you mentioned a 5-degree ascendant, but I'm showing a 12-degree ascendant and a 5-degree midheaven. So do we have the wrong chart? Because if we do, I'm going to move on.
I think we can still, I don't think that, I'm not sure if we do or
I
not.
thought the 12th degree was accurate for her because of the mystery and the madness and the alcohol, drugs, and I thought that was accurate. And her birth time is listed as 9:30.
Yeah, it is. It's accurate.
So we rectified it to 9:29, and I thought, okay. So I thought you had said that that's what Nikola rectified it to as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the 12th degree of Leo.
Okay, so this one is fascinating to me because I guess, if you buy the degree theory, right, you will get resolution as to what really happened to her. Okay. So let's start with the fourth house. She has Saturn there in Scorpio. So for him, if you're a woman, the fourth house represents the parent of the opposite sex. So that would be her father. So nobody knew who he was, right? But because of Saturn, it would be somebody that is older, much older than her mom, or there was a big age difference between her mom and and her father. So the ruler of Scorpio is Pluto, is in the 12th house. That's why she never knew her father.
Wow.
Okay. And then again, if you look at the traditional ruler of the fourth house is Mars, it's in the 8th house, things that are mysterious, and it's in Pisces, right? So, secrets.
At the Scorpio degree, 20th degree.
Yes, Exactly.
Ooh.
So it's always it's hidden, it's unknown, it's mysterious because and it's in Pisces, right? At the Scorpio degree. So the Pluto in the 12th house also explains why she lived in an orphanage for a while.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that about her.
Because it rules isolated places. Yeah. Okay,
Ooh.
so she has Sun and Mars, right? The Sun represents men in your chart. Mars represents the boyfriend, right? So the Sun is at the 10th degree, meaning she liked older men, the Capricorn degree. Okay. So, and then you have Saturn that trines Mars. So she, let's say, easily accepted men, right? There was a good flow there. The 7th house is ruled by Aquarius. So she was guaranteed to, and Jupiter there in the 7th house, just from like traditional astrology, means that, you're going to have several marriages, right?
Yeah.
However, the first husband would be somebody from the neighborhood, somebody that was known to the family because the moon is there.
Ooh. And
Okay.
what?
And he would have to do something with Aquarius. He could have been divorced, or he could work, he could have been a pilot, and working at the airport, something, you know, something related to Uranus, right? So airport,
So you would blend the 19th degree with Aquarius and the moon. So the moon, home, neighborhood, Aquarius, and the 19th degree, to go back to that, it's law, business, partnerships, fashion, beauty, luxury items, music, art, etc. Who was her first husband? I'm not as up on her biography.
and aviation.
He was an aviation mechanic.
Yes.
Whoa!
So, yeah. So that's the Aquarius there.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah, I know. It is. All right. So where is the ruler of Aquarius? It's in the 8th house,
Mhm.
Uranus. So he would go away to a foreign country, Pisces. And that's exactly what happened. He went away to the war in a foreign, Pisces in a foreign country, right?
Mhm.
12th house. And then she divorced because Mars conjunct Uranus is a quick divorce, right? Mars is quick, right? Fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It also means fast marriage, right? Because the ruler of the 7th is Uranus and is close and it's conjunct to Mars, so it's a quick marriage. So the second husband, again, is in the 9th house, and it starts at the 3rd degree of Aries. So this is where she got married. She was in love. Venus is there, and the part of fortune. She was happy with the second marriage. So Art represents. He could have been in the army. He could have been a sole proprietor, but it also represents muscles, sports. In the
Mhm.
3rd degree, Gemini, a sport that he plays with his hands.
Yeah.
So of course she married Joe DiMaggio, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness.
But once again, the ruler of the 9th is in the 8th, and it's conjunct to Uranus.
Uranus.
So divorce. Okay.
Uh,
So the third marriage, the 11th house,
yeah.
is conjunct Mercury. In the sun is in the 10th degree, so again, it would be an older man, and he would be in Mercury ruled things, a writer, somebody with communication, um, somebody smart, obviously. Um,
Hmm.
and she married Arthur Miller.
Mind blown.
Okay, so um, then this is where it's going to get really, really interesting. The end of life is the 4th house.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the end of life, because she also has Neptune at 22nd degrees, right?
Mhm.
Um, which is the degree of killed or be killed, right?
Yes.
Okay. And her ascendant is at 12 degrees Leo. So again, she would suffer from depression because the the ruler of the fourth, like the Saturn is there and it squares the moon. The moon is all about the emotional, you know.
Yeah.
Saturn is depression, pretty much. So, but look at this. The ruler of he said that Uranus conjunct Mars is one of the significators of suicide. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So, but she has that Neptune at 22 degrees. So, where is the ruler of her ascendant? It is in 10 degrees Gemini. Gemini meaning two brothers.
Ooh.
Does that ring a bell? So, two brothers that are powerful because it's at the 10th degree, both the cusp and the sun.
Oh
You're
my God.
you're making the connection, right?
If you can convict someone based off of an astrological birth chart, we all know who would have been in prison.
Yeah, right.
Oh, oh my
However,
goodness.
because Neptune is at 22 degrees, she was killed, but it was made to look like suicide.
Suicide. Oh my God, Anna. Amazing. Holy crap. Okay, we're gonna go on, we're gonna move on. Is there anything else about Marilyn's chart? This
No, no.
I thank you for staying with us for this extra time because this is truly amazing. I'm not going to dwell on Oprah's chart. I only want to mention 29th degree, Leo degree.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, the hair, right? And then the 17th degree midheaven is amazing with that energy as well. Was there anything about Oprah that you needed to say or wanted to say very quickly?
No, I mean it's the same thing. Like no, I think we're good because I was gonna say about the rape and stuff, but that's not, that's not it's
That's
not
not
a
something you want
it's not a
to.
pleasant note to end the podcast on. Let's put it that way.
Okay, but you see it, and a trained astrologer in the degree theory can see this potential. Wow,
Well, just
I was going to write and say, where is it? So you might as well say it very quickly. Everybody's going to
okay,
ask me.
so you have Mars square Pluto,
And
right?
Mars is the ruler of her fourth.
Yeah, can
Right?
you okay. So again, it's at 23 degrees and it's conjunct the moon, or the moon is there. So it would be somebody that's in the family or
Yeah,
somebody that would visit the
okay.
home.
A friend of the family. 23rd degree can be friend, right? Or uncle, or
Or it could be a family member as well.
Mhm. Because it's
Um,
ruled by the fourth house. Yeah.
right. So Mars is in Scorpio, meaning it would be a sexual thing, right? And
Mhm.
24 degrees of Leo, Pluto's there. It would be a powerful man. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio to keep secrets. It would be kept a secret.
Yeah.
And Pluto is retrograde. So it would happen again and again and again.
And her fifth house ruler is that Venus at the eighth degree.
At the 8th degree, right? And the 8th house starts at the 5th degree, so it would happen while she was a child.
Yeah. And the pregnancy too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'll end on a happy note for her. Let's look
Okay.
at Stedman, seventh house, 29th degree, but Gemini is there. And then we go to Mercury, the ruler of the seventh. Mercury is there at 19 degrees. And what does Stedman do for a living? He is a big businessman, right?
Yes.
And I think that's a very interesting, appropriate analysis of their relationship, and definitely unusual. Uranus in the 7th house. It's at the 20th degree, which is Scorpio. She don't talk about her relationship publicly for nothing. You don't ever hear a word about Stedman, right? That's just fascinating. Okay, and her even though her midheaven is there, it's at the 17th degree. It is ruled by that 8th house, that 8th degree, Venus, Aquarius, 2nd house. So she does get to talk about the dark stuff for sure.
Yeah,
all the time. So very quickly, everybody knows who like, in public about my birth chart. This is my birth certificate birth chart. Ever since I learned about rectification, I was suspicious about my birth time because when I got married, my secondary progressed moon was at 22 degrees of Libra. So it was a little bit off with the orb of accuracy. So I always said, you know what? I think I was born a couple of minutes earlier. And then I started testing it with other solar arcs and other events in my life and progressions. And that's how you rectify. But it wasn't until I started learning about Nikola's theory. And it was actually a video that I saw on Astrologer's YouTube channel that had me understand that the 23rd degree is the astrologer's degree. And here's my ascendant at 24 in Aries. And also my midheaven at 13 didn't 100% fit because that's an Aries degree. And even though I have my own business, it didn't completely fit. And then my 4th house didn't completely fit either. When I rectified my chart just a couple of minutes earlier, it could be either 4:47 or 4:48. Either one works. All of a sudden, there's the ascendant at the 23rd degree, which totally fits my whole life and identity. The divorce, I know you have Uranus there, so that was indicated regardless, but the 23rd degree there suggests it. But now we have a 12 degree midheaven, which is Pisces degree. And what is my whole business and world? It is the spirituality. Moreover, my family of origin, tons of mental illness and alcoholism, and that is also the more accurate for a 12th degree, 4th house energy. So you can rectify a chart, guys, by looking at it. You can use it as an additional tool to tweak rectification. And I wanted to just end on that because it shows how much breadth there is with this degree theory. And as an astrologer who initially said, oh, it's got to be bullshit, I am ashamed of myself for even saying that. And I'm so glad that I listened to my moon and I investigated it over the past couple of years better. And meeting you and having you help me really dig into this has been an absolute honor and pleasure, Anna. So Anna is
likewise.
Well, we're having a lot of fun right now in our progressions class, and I have to say, you are a remarkably gifted astrologer. So I'm proud to say that you have been one of my students, even though I really didn't teach you much. You're amazing. And everybody out there watching, I urge you to email Anna. And I know she's very busy. She's got a lot going on, but not many astrologers specialize in the degree theory. Nikola has passed away. We cannot even train students anymore. And she is really very good at this. And I think it's so worth looking into your chart in this way. So Anna, thank you so much for being here today. I'm so blessed to have had you.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure. And all right, continuing your class.
Oh, yeah, yes. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching the Insightful Astrology podcast, and I hope that you tune into the next episode. You guys have an amazing day and keep growing into your soul using the power of astrology as your guide. Bye-bye.